Hey guys, welcome to another Tellor community call. It's Tuesday, May 11th. It is this is the beginning of Coinbase week 2 or the beginning of the first week post Coinbase listing. That's the big news. Everybody's really excited about. We're super excited about it. We've sort of been working with them on this listing process for a long time, and it's one of those examples of and we have many of these examples of things that we're working on and news we want to share but we can't share. And so we appreciate you guys being patient about some of those announcements. I know you guys are all eager for anything to sink your teeth into, but you know, some good things are worth waiting for, and I think this was really big for us. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I've had like a bunch of family members um, reach out to me and send me screenshots of their Coinbase app on their phone that says, now available on Coinbase, Teller TRB, and it's just been like a really surreal experience for me personally. I know other people on the team also share that. I think for a lot of us, Coinbase was our the first place we bought, any crypto. So, um, for me, like just a little story about how I got into crypto. I was basically gifted I worked I was consulting with a company, and they paid me some Bitcoin, and they just helped me sign up for Coinbase, and I sat them on there in 2013 and sort of forgot about those coins, and then I remember checking back a couple years later, and they were actually worth something to pay attention to, and and uh, and that was through Coinbase. And I kind of have a bittersweet experience with Coinbase too, because I remember having to do taxes that year on these crypto gains, and I was trying to learn about how to do that, which is crazy and convoluted for us U.S. citizens. But I remember going through my Coinbase history, um, and having to like see all these bitcoins that I at one point had, but like I was getting paid in them, and they weren't worth that much at the time, and so I was just selling them right back into dollars as income, and that's what I pay taxes on it as income or whatever, but there was no capital gains or anything. But the point is that I remember like having to dig through my Coinbase records, and they actually were the one exchange at the time that actually kept those records pretty conveniently. But it was so painful to look at, you know, what at that time even was worth so much more than what they were at the time that I traded them. So like, I remember for a while, it's just like I didn't want to go back to Coinbase. It was this place that was almost negative in a way, because it was like a what could have been kind of moment for me personally. But anyway, it's that's the Coinbase is the place where every American first can get access to crypto. Everybody that sort of I know, I say, hey, sign up for Coinbase, buy a tiny bit. That's how you get started, and then ask questions later. So um, anyway, how do you guys feel about the Coinbase listing?
I'm super excited. I mean, to be honest, when we first started Teller, um, well, one, we took a lot of decisions that, we hoped that would keep us within US regulation to hopefully one day be able to do this. And, this is a huge milestone for me. I mean, for all of us, I think like it's, as a US entity, and this is a big deal. Like being able to have this market open to us, it's just amazing. And knowing that all the hard decisions that we made at the beginning actually paid off, at least for these in terms of this milestone, it's really big. Because I mean, we could have done like an entity outside of the US or an ICO or something like that, but we always wanted to make sure that the way that we distribute the coins, well, one, that wasn't the main idea behind it, but we still wanted it to be, if we were going to have a mining mechanism, for it to be end up being decentralized, the coin being centralized. And it is like, we really don't even hold what, like 6% right now, because we have to sell for operations. So it's super decentralized, I feel, within the space. But there was times that we were probably thinking like, why didn't we go the easy way? And then now it's like, we're here. And it's amazing. I mean, looking back, it was a tough decision, but it's paid off, and it's exciting to see us grow. So
And we've been through this process with a few other exchanges, in terms of like due diligence and things like that, the hoops they make you jump through. Um, and without going into like the actual details about the Coinbase process, I think I can share that it was the most rigorous of all of them, and they had the most strict criteria. And I think that, like what Brenda was alluding to, the way that we've conducted ourselves and the decisions we've made on the decentralization aspect or aspects of the protocol, and just even our sort of our messaging and our image and just the things we don't do, I think really helped us out, because they're very particular about the projects that they'll list, um, and the projects that they won't list. Um, and so, it felt, we feel justified or vindicated. I don't know what the right word is, but we feel validated uh, by some of our decisions by getting, having a project like or a company like Coinbase sort of vet us so thoroughly and you know, find us up to par, which we always thought we were. So, um, yeah, so it's like it feels like a really big arrival. So, congrats to us all. We don't have to, we've already celebrated. I'm sure you guys have already celebrated. I think we even talked about this a little bit last week, and we've mentioned this a bunch of times. But now is the time that we're going to see a lot of fresh faces. So we have to be even better than we have been, and be more professional as a community as well. And we're working on helping you guys with that and doing our part. And I know you guys are doing your part. And yeah, we say we are Tellor for a reason, and I think we can be proud of that. And so. So anyways, let's shift gears on some updates. I'll just touch on one real quick, and then Brenda, you can update on the tech side. Um, the Scaling Ethereum Hackathon is wrapping up. We're going to be announcing the winners of that on the 13th, right, Ryan? I think it's the 13th is when, or maybe
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
yeah. So this week we'll be announcing the winners of that. I'm actually really excited about a couple of the projects that hacked on us. In particular, um, they were of a higher quality than we've seen recently. And so, like, all of this is sort of building on each other. I think Tellor is growing. The price is up, the listing is happening, the awareness is growing. You have a higher echelon of people that are interested in Tellor. We have our first big user with Liquidity that came out recently, and now you have. I think it makes sense to see a higher caliber of a developer willing to build on you at a hackathon. So um, all of this is like really, really exciting for us to see. And this is what we hope to see when we began this process, way back when, just slowly planting these seeds. And I think we're starting to see the momentum. So good stuff. Over to you, Brenda.
yeah, so for tech updates, we just finished testing, local testing for Tellor 3. And our goal is to have Rinkeby updated by tomorrow. So we'll be deploying today, and then tomorrow we'll update Rinkeby, then test there. And once we see everything's all good and running, then next week we're shooting to be push that to mainnet. Now I do want to make one note. Tellor 3, there is no change in the token. So no more migrations. This is it. And one of the things that we did for Tellor 3 is we basically, it's the same system, except we removed the extra migration function. So you can still migrate your tokens if you haven't already using the migrate function. And we left one more function for us to be able to help anybody that's locked on a contract or just some weird situation. So there's only going to be two functions that are able to migrate tokens. The one that you can do anytime you want, you can do on your own. And then we left this one that we will still be administering for another period of time. And then eventually what we'll do is we might go and look up how much of the tokens are still haven't been migrated, and we might just put that on a contract and then have people migrate or help them migrate from that. But take out the functionality of us being able to basically do it for you. But that's basically the change from the current Tellor to Tellor 3. Tellor X is something that is going to be a redesign of Tellor, and that's going to be happening farther, from now, maybe about 6 months from now or so. And that's actually going to have, more of a structural change. For this one specifically, it's just the migration functions are going away, and you have to do, you shouldn't have to do anything. You're not, as a user, you're not going to feel any changes really. So just keep that in mind. And we're excited because we want to get this out the door, and we really want to get started on Tellor X because it's going to be a really fun structure architecture that we're still playing around with. So once we have something, we'll definitely, put it out there so you guys can give us your feedback. But as of now, we're still working on the design and some things on that. So you just have to wait. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, exciting stuff. Thank you for that. I think we should just move into a few questions that you guys had. We got 7 today. Some of the usual greatest hits here, just to start off right off the bat. A few marketing related questions. I'll just rattle them off because I think I could answer these 3 all kind of together. When marketing lead is higher, and is there a current marketing campaign for Tellor, and any Tellor event and partnership? So in terms of any sort of partnerships upcoming, we'll let you know as soon as we can, and as soon as it's tangible. That's just sort of our MO. If you're new, that's just kind of how it's going to go. We are definitely working on exciting things, and so just stay tuned. It's kind of what we always have to say there. In terms of other events, we're working on scheduling the next hackathon that we're going to be involved in. Currently, right now, we are involved with Reimagine 2021. So we sponsored that event. It's an ongoing monthly event. We'll be doing another one after that. I'm not sure if that's just the following month. It might be just, that might be just in June, if I recall. Ryan, you might remember, but we're doing 2 events with Reimagine for May and in the next month. So we'll give you more information about that once we sort of schedule things with them. But we're hoping to have a really busy summer in terms of events that we're partaking in. We're hopeful to get actually out to an in-person event at some point soon. We're hopeful that ETHCC in Paris is going to actually be happening, and we'll have a couple team members out there. Brenda is going to be a speaker at that event. But with COVID, it's been postponed a couple times now, and we're just sort of waiting to get sort of confirmation on that. But I know, Brenda, you're really excited to get out of here and actually see some people in person, let alone be in Paris for a real in-person event. That's one thing that we've always said. We really miss it. It's a big part of crypto, I think, are the dev cons and the ETH hackathons and things like that. And so hopefully the rest of the year will be really busy on the event front. Where else was I? Okay, so the marketing stuff. So we're still actively interviewing people for for a few roles, and so we'll let you know when we hire somebody new and what their role is, and we'll, of course we'll introduce that person or those persons um, on one of these calls. So um, we're working on growing all aspects of Tellor, including the outreach side of things. So stay tuned. Excuse me. And is there currently a marketing campaign? I think that sort of ties into I think part of our marketing campaign or campaigns, if you will, or strategy um, is sort of this two-pronged approach of sponsoring um, different blockchain events and conferences, kind of like this Reimagine sponsorship that we're doing. Um, they they then provide us with opportunities to share things about Tellor, to do a panel, to do interviews, to put out content. They help us create the content, or they do it all for us. We just have to show up and answer questions. And then they also just do general advertising for us to their viewers. And I think that that's a really effective way for us to do that. And then of course doing the direct outreach to developers in the space through hackathons. Um, and and so we're really our marketing focuses towards the developer side much more than the investor side or the speculator side of things. Um, what we've seen is by doing that approach, the speculator side has grown quite a bit on its own. You know, if you make a good project and people start using you, and the smart people in the space have heard of you and they respect you, then everybody else will hear about you just naturally, you know, and that's what happened. And like I said before, like there's no better marketing campaign that now like everybody in America on their Coinbase app on their phone sees Tellor is now listed, you know, on Coinbase. It's like the absolute most direct marketing campaign you could ever have, and it's been, you know, it's been amazing for us. So that's all I'll say about those things. Next question is, when will it be possible to make stake with TRB? So I think, Brenda, you were saying that this was something that we're looking for.
With Tellor X,
Yeah.
we probably won't start working on it until like 6 months from now. And even though it will be, and you know, we're talking about it being staking, it won't be just staking. There will still, you will still have to run something behind it to be able to provide data. So it'll be a difference. It won't be proof of work, but it will not just be staking.
Yep. You'll have to run some sort of software and kind of have a little bit of upkeep that you're going to have to maintain. It's going to take work, and for that work, you get rewarded. With the popularity of cryptos in recent months, do you feel that this spark in interest is for monetary returns or the capabilities that a project can deliver? I mean, I have my opinion. I don't know if you guys, anybody on the team, want to chime in on their opinion. I think it's clearly for monetary returns, but you know, like a small percentage of those people are also just like really geek out about the technology and you know, now that I think about it off the top of my head, like I think a lot of us get into it for the money, and then Ryan, you want to use your slogan?
Yes, I like it. Go, Ryan.
Come for the price and stay for the protocol.
Yes, come for the price, Steve. Yeah, and I think that that's like even on a bigger scale, not just on an individual project scale, like that's what blockchain technology has done for a lot of people, including myself. Like I came because those Coinbase Bitcoin I had was like, oh, now this is worth a few $1,000s. Like I'm gonna look into this and figure out what Bitcoin is, and then one thing leads to another, and you stick around for the protocol, you stick around for the technology. Some people do, other people, they I don't know.
And for long-term growth, it's important to actually, you know, as newcomers come into our Telegram chat or Discord, they'll be friendly and always, you know, we want to continue to grow a community that still that still values our values. So as we grow and they come in, some people are gonna just come in for the price and get out. And that's fine. But even what we want to do is build a community that will be there for the long run. So that way we have continued growth.
Yeah.
So be nice to people and hopefully they will stay for the protocol, and the ones that don't, that's fine. We'll weed them out.
Come for the price, stick around for the community. You know what she's saying is like the community is really the face and the sort of living, breathing part of the protocol. You know, we're all the people that answer questions and teach people about the protocol, and
So
that's
for
really
example,
what I'm interested. My dog is attacking me. Get out of here.
the guy who was it? What is his name Steve, or who was it that created that migrations?
Oh, young C. Yeah, we got a shout out to young CEO crypto. I don't know what that's your name on YouTube, young CEO crypto. Thank you for making that migrations video.
Iron Alien on Discord.
What's his name?
Iron Alien on Discord.
Iron Alien, the one and only.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. That's what we're talking about. It's so, we have our own migrations video that we've made in house, and then we do those things. But like when we see somebody else walk through um, those things that come from the community that we didn't ask them to do it, and there's no incentive other than the fact that they want to do it because they want to support Tellor. Like that's a beautiful thing, and it's just great to see. You love to see it, as Tally would say. Okay, next question. I lost my questions here. Where are we? Okay. I'm new to crypto. Trying to learn as much as I can right now. Since Ethereum transitioned to proof of stake, how does that affect Tellor? I'm assuming you mean when Ethereum transitions to proof of stake. How do you think it's going to affect Tellor, Brenda?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see how it affects even ETH. But my guess, if it actually delivers what we think it will, maybe gas prices might be cheaper, so it will be better for the miners or for even our stakers submitting prices on chain. But that's still to be seen. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it should just all be good news for Tellor and
yeah, yeah.
nothing bad.
Might even make if they're faster, we might be able to be faster. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works once it gets here.
And is it possible for Tellor to be a proof of stake oracle and have your proof of work as a backup? So I think the easiest way to think about, we wouldn't want to have two separate systems running. That wouldn't make sense. But what comes to mind immediately is that our dispute mechanism is kind of a backup in a way. You could think of it as a backup that if any one of our data providers submits bad data in the situation where we need backup data, the network itself backs itself up by being ready and available for another request. When a bad request comes through, it gets disputed, and that user can just easily request again, and the network has that liveness aspect to it that will put a fresh price back in. And so it's constantly backing itself up through the dispute process and just through the structure of the system itself. So I don't think you would really want to have a separate network of proof of work miners ready and waiting for something, and I think that would just, you'd have to really rethink of all of our system mechanics to make sense of that. But I don't think that would be something we would pursue. We do love those proof of work miners, though, right, Sean? We would love to have them still stick around somehow and just go ahead and stake with us. Turn their CPUs off, let them rest.
Right. But they would still have to run some software to provide on-chain data on-chain. So it might. We're gonna work on Tellor for it to work for Tellor X, but it might be that the same people end up being.
Yeah. They're going to be very familiar with basically the process is gonna be so similar. They're gonna be very familiar with it. They just don't need to have the computation aspect of it involved. So anyway, that is it. Thank you guys for your questions. Nobody in the chat? Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody. Until next time. See ya.
Thank you, everyone.